CCTV released a short clip, just 14 seconds long, but it conveyed some extraordinary information. A formation of Chinese J-20 fighter jets took off to confront the enemy, engaged in intense offensive and defensive maneuvers with foreign forces, and ultimately emerged victorious. So, what details of this expulsion operation are worth paying attention to? And what kind of message does it send to the outside world? Hello everyone, I'm Quan. Welcome to Global Overview. Recently, CCTV's Sharp Sword program aired a breathtaking scene. Foreign military aircraft suddenly formed up and rapidly approached our East China Sea Air Defense Identification Zone, which was a provocative test. The Chinese radar system detected the unidentified aerial activity immediately, and then several J-20 fighter jets of the PLA scrambled to intercept the intruders. Based on the information released, the opponent was not a single aircraft, but at least two, with the ability to coordinate information. Judging from their deployment and flight path, they were most likely from the US-Japan Allied Air Forces, and the aircraft type appeared to be F-35s. According to CCTV footage and related descriptions, both sides engaged in multiple close-range encounters within a short period. The J-20 pilots executed a series of highly difficult maneuvers to encircle, lock on, and ultimately successfully suppress the enemy aircraft. Such actions are not simply escorting, but are typical of suppressive expulsion tactics, indicating that the Chinese pilots are not only highly skilled in tactics and techniques, but that the fighter jets themselves also possess an absolute performance advantage. So, why does the J-20 win? The answer is simple: technological and systematic advantages. From a design perspective, it possesses the three core capabilities typical of fifth-generation fighter jets: stealth, supercruise, and high maneuverability. In particular, its canard layout gives it a lift coefficient between 2.1 and 2.2, while the US F-22 has 1.6, and the F-35 is even lower at just 1.3. This difference in lift means that in close-range dogfights, the J-20 can turn more nimbly and complete maneuvers like dives or climbs more quickly, allowing it to seize advantageous positions in aerial combat. In addition, when it comes to supercruise capability, the J-20 is equipped with domestically produced WS engines, delivering up to 180 kilonewtons of thrust, enabling sustained supercruise at Mach 1.8 and maintaining top speed for over 15 minutes. In comparison, the US F-22 can only sustain Mach 1.6 supercruise for a much shorter period, and the F-35 doesn't even have true supercruise capability. It can only sprint for short bursts. In other words, the J-20 can not only catch up to the F-22, but also keep pace with it, while it's almost impossible for the F-35 to shake off the J-20. In actual combat, this means that once a conflict breaks out, the J-20 can quickly engage from a distance and lock onto its target, then launch its PL-15 medium to long-range air-to-air missiles once within range. The PL-15 has a maximum range of up to 250 kilometers, while the AIM-120D air-to-air missile equipped on the F-35 only reaches a maximum of 160 kilometers. This 80-kilometer gap is enough to determine the outcome of an air battle, because in aerial combat, it's all about who detects, locks on, and fires first. The one who makes the first move gains the upper hand. If the J-20's maneuverability and stealth lay the foundation for combat, then its performance in integrated operations is what truly makes its opponents fearful. Today's Chinese Air Force no longer fights alone. The KJ-500 early warning aircraft patrols at high altitude, the ground radar network provides full coverage, and electronic jamming platforms are fully networked and coordinated with surface-to-air missile arrays. The J-20 is like a nail in this system. Once it locks onto a target, it triggers an attack from the entire network. The report mentioned unfamiliar aerial situations, radar jamming, and successful suppression. In fact, this subtly indicates to the outside world that this confrontation involved all elements and was no less intense than a real combat engagement. Of course, this report continues the narrative style of previous ones, with expressions like pilots resolutely drawing their swords and being ready to make sacrifices at any moment. But in reality, today's Chinese Air Force has already reached the ranks of the world's top tier. Pilots no longer need to risk lives for victory. They rely on technological superiority of aircraft and supportive operational systems to overwhelm opponents. In the 2001 South China Sea aircraft collision, Martyr Wang Wei, piloting an old fighter jet without data link or air-to-air missiles, driven by passion, intercepted the U.S. military's EP-3 electronic reconnaissance aircraft, sacrificing his life. But if the J-20 encountered the same scenario today, there'd be no need to risk lives. It could lock on and destroy the target with a missile. A real, tangible change in combat capability. The J-20's significance beyond the aircraft itself, it represents a shift in the Chinese Air Force's approach to warfare. In the past, we responded passively, relying on sheer willpower to withstand pressure. Today, we take the initiative, using an integrated system to suppress our opponents. From the J-10 and J-11 to the Su-30 making aggressive moves, now it's the J-20's turn to take center stage as the main force. China's strategic posture has shifted from defensive counterattacks to containment and